Welcome back to the Marquette County High School Football Preview Show presented by the UP Catholic Credit Union. Your home mortgage professionals. We're joined by Scott Syrjala of the Westwood Patriots. One of the best seasons, the best season in program history for quite some time. Got a playoff win last year. It seemed that every time we talked, you talked about building a program. What's the next step for you guys in that building process?
Just to continue what we have been doing the last couple of years. I think getting into the weight room, continuing to try to be good people and do the right thing, practicing hard, volunteering in our community, things like that. The things that we value in our program, that's what we want to try to be able to do. So we got a great group of seniors that have great leadership skills, and they're great kids. And our juniors are falling right in line too. And it's a good group that we have coming up too. So they gel well together. So far it's been a good preseason.
How different is it going to be kind of having the target on your back, not being able to take anybody by surprise this year?
Sure. I think anytime that happens, you have to tell the kids that, you know what I mean, that we know that we could have actually a solid, great season and not even, and go 6-3 or something like that, not have quite as a good record. Our schedule is brutal. I mean, every team on it, top to bottom. You and I were talking before this, and it's tough. It's a tough schedule, but tell you what, it was the right thing to do going into the Westpac, joining forces with them, just because we're not looking for games every single year or driving to Wisconsin or downstate looking for those games. We got a solid 9 games. It's a tough 9-game schedule, but that we just have to be able to prepare. We know now that, okay, yeah, teams are looking at us. You got your quarterback, and you have your tailback back, and some of your line back, and things like that. But I'll say this too: we got some big holes that we have to fill, and that's why you practice. Who's going to step up and fill those roles?
Well, you lose a couple All-Stars that you had in the UP Football All-Star game this year. Ethan Homeland was one of the big standouts, an All-State honoree. With such a big hole on defense that he leaves, how are you guys going to try to address that?
Well, we're trying to take a look at a few different kids. I think we've had as many as 4 different kids play an inside linebacker spot so far this preseason. And I'll be honest, all 4 are doing great. But there's things, football's played with pads, and today we were able to get the shoulder pads on and the helmet, and we were able to see a few more things. That's kind of also been our message in the preseason. We have 20 kids on our roster, not a lot of kids, but last year we didn't either, and we had to have those kids maybe play some bigger roles and multiple roles, and that's what our kids are doing. That's what they're used to, and we're coaching them up and doing the best that we can as a coaching staff, and the kids they're great. They're doing a good job too. So our defense may look a little bit different. Yeah, we got some big shoes that we have to fill. But so far, the kids that we've tried out in those positions, they're competing and they're battling.
On the opposite side of the ball, you have Nathan Beckman coming back as a senior this year. What steps does he need to make, and what steps have you seen him make that make you think that he can elevate to being an elite quarterback in the UP?
Well, first of all, Nathan's a great kid. He comes from a good class of kids, one of the best classes that I've ever been around, and he's going to be our valedictorian. He's a 4.0 kid, so he's smart, and he sees things. And that's kind of the normal progression. He's seeing things now. At the end of last year he was, and he's seeing things now so far in this preseason that he hasn't seen in the past. And he's a little bit more vocal this year. He was a little bit more vocal in the off season in the weight room, and taking not just a leadership role by example, but a leadership role in its entirety. And from a talking to the kids standpoint to this is how you do things standpoint. So that's been kind of the progression with him, and so far he's stepped up to the challenge. He's doing a great job.
Who are another couple players that you have been relying on to be your coaches on the field?
Sure. You got to point to Sam Gillis, all UP kid last year as a junior. Sam Gillis is one of the best kids I've ever coached. He's a great kid. Blake Hewitt's another one. Blake Hewitt, he's really, you can tell he's a coach's kid. He's real smart, helps our younger kids out with the line calls and different things like that. And he's really worked hard this off season too. He's gotten a lot stronger and put on some size. And so he's really smart. He's doing great. And Hayden Mann, a kid that we weren't able to see last year, he got hurt in the Gladstone game. We're looking for big things out of him. He's a great kid. He's worked hard in the off season too. And so he'll be back, and he stepped into the roles that we expected him to step in, and he's doing a good job. And of course we have Ashton Bergman too. He's come back, and Ashton's very smart, gets our defensive calls and things like that. So it gets our kids in the right spots, and he's a smart defensive football player.
How deep is your running game going to be this year with Bergman, Teo Delangelo back, and Beckman, who led the MPC in rushing yards in total? How much of a luxury is that for you?
Sure. We also have Adam Heitnen, who came in and rushed for some good yards last year, and we added junior in Evan Ray. And all those kids are great kids, and they've worked hard in the off season. Our speed is really good with those kids. It's not blazing lights out speed, but it's faster than it was because they've worked at it, and that's all you can ask a kid to do. So but I don't know, I don't want to say how deep, because you got to have a line in front of them. And if I would say that's where we're probably a little bit shallow in depth wise, that's probably where it is. But Coach Wilginen, I think he's doing a great job. We actually have, I don't want to say converted, but we've had some kids that normally haven't played, the interior line before, are now playing the interior line, and they're doing a good job at it. By no means are we going to step on the field and intimidate anybody by our size, but I'm used to that. We really haven't been big, since I've been here, and it's few and far between where we have a lot of big kids. But we have good kids that have put a lot of time in the weight room, and that are going to give us a good effort.
Have you and your team talked about expectations at all for this season?
No, we really haven't. It's the challenge that I put forth to them is, what are you going to settle for? What's your point that you're just okay with? What is it? And is it just a pretty good practice? Is it executing the play okay? Is it executing the play good? Or you almost got there to stop the play? And we want to try to hold that bar high. And so the expectations, I think, has to start with doing our absolute best that we can in everything that we do. I got a little bit upset today in practice just because, we didn't break the huddle and our guys weren't running to their spots. I don't expect them to sprint, but we should hustle. We should hustle to the spot. And made them go back, break the huddle again. Still wasn't quite as clean, as fast as it should have been. I had them do it a third time. We got it right. But I explained it to them that, that's we're getting ready to execute a play. Let's not be unsure of ourselves. If there's a question, let's ask. That's why we practice. Let's get to the line. Let's get ready and snap off the ball and execute the play. And that's how we look at things. And if we can keep things simple like that, just doing the best that we can. Those really are the expectations. I always said that if you do those things and you put the time in the off season, I think the wins, you always hope, you're always going to have injuries and things like that. But if you do those things and stay healthy, win or lose, it's a successful season because you're doing the absolute best that you can. And but usually what happens is the wins take care of themselves.
Well, Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck this season.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.